And a lot of these children, they just need someone, like you say, that they can count on.
Yeah.
That says, I'm going to do this, and they come
deliver.
through.
Yeah.
Or excluded, or if I can help them just reach, because a lot of these students are they're functioning at 30% of their true capacity.
Yeah.
Just like I was.
Yeah.
I'm also aware as a white man working in schools where they're predominantly black young men, that it's important that they're able to see positive role models
Of course.
Yeah.
that they can actually relate to. So me and Gemma then buy them sort of links, shower gel sets and toothbrush, toothpaste, things that we take for granted, but actually... Once I started to see the impact that this journaling had on my life, like it didn't make my brain injury any better, but it made me so much more humble, so much more grounded, so much more grateful. And colour started to come back into my life. I'd stopped drinking. I'd started focusing on, once I'd seen the effect that this journaling and gratitude had on my life, I was like, what else is out there that's going to do this for me? So I'd never read a book in my life up until this point. And so I started picking up self-help books. And I thought, okay, and my advice to anyone in the room or watching this podcast is, if there's an area of your life that isn't as you think it should be, find a book, a self-help book, and read it. So for me, sleep was the next thing I wanted to work on. And so I read a book on sleep. And just to make notes in the back of the book on what I can implement, what can I add. So I'd implement all of the hacks that I'd learned into my life, keep what worked, discard of what didn't. And then I started picking up other books. And this is where I remember one evening I was in bed and I was struggling, having panic attacks, going to hospital because I think I was having a heart attack. And I remember asking, sort of half asleep, laying in bed, asking for help. I don't know who I was asking for help. I was like, just please help me out of this. And I had this calm feeling come over me. And it was the maddest thing. And every night since then, I've sort of, every night before I go to bed, while I'm laying in bed, in my head, I'll pray. I'll just say, thank you. Thank you for today. You know, thank you for giving me the strength and guidance. Please strengthen me through the evening and help me achieve the same tomorrow. And I sort of developed a level of, I guess, spirituality where I didn't necessarily believe in a religion, but the universe. I believe the energy, because I'd seen energy had, like, the energy I was putting out was coming back at me.
I can only put in this because I've had certain experiences. I'm like, it's not just me doing it. It's not just me getting through it. You know what I'm saying? There's another force.
Yeah.
I honestly, there's another force working here.
I honestly felt that. And then life, after the journaling and after I started reading these books and started making changes to try and change who I was and how I showed up every day, the maddest things started happening. Like,
what's the most random, nicest thing that's happened to you? I know what question.
I'll say the first thing, the woman giving me the coffee for free because I asked her how she was and how her weekend was. And just decided to see her as a human. And use her name.
And not just the person giving me more coffee.
Because that was exactly what she said to me. People don't see me as human. They just see me as a means to their coffee. And then what started to happen was I started to step out of my comfort zone a bit more, and I got involved with a charity and ended up going on a skiing trip. And they asked me to stand up and deliver a talk because the person who was supposed to speak had a panic attack. And I was like about to eat my starter. I was like, well, I'm not a speaker, but I can't let them down. I can't let this guy who's had a panic attack down. I don't want him to feel bad. So I stood up and spoke a bit about my story. And they were like, after, people were coming up to me saying, you should do this for a living. And I was like, if only you knew how alien this felt. Because before the accident, I couldn't have spoken to this room.
Wow.
Like, I was that grey a person, like that introverted. And so I just sort of written it off. And then I got back from the trip and people started asking me to speak. Can you come in and speak to my company? And I was like, okay. And then I got introduced to Danielle Brown. Shout out to Danielle Brown, who's a Paralympic gold medalist. She's a speaker, and she sort of came through a gentleman I went to meet. Yeah. And she said, look, I've been told to mentor you and give you want to be a speaker? And I'm like, I sort of just said that as a bluff because he wanted to book me to come and speak at a company. Yeah. And she was like, look, I'll help you set up a website. And I was sort of on the phone thinking, okay, I can't show my cards, so I'll just go along with it, see what happens. I didn't expect anything. Yeah. And it really, the speaking grew from there, and it was sort of, I'd always seen it as a side hustle. When people phoned to ask me to come and speak, great. Yeah. And whenever I'd go to social events, I sort of adopted this, I am a motivational speaker. What do you do? I'm a motivational speaker. Yeah. But I also drive for a gentleman 3 days a week. Like, I'd sort of manifested it in my own life, and by saying to everyone who asked, I'm a motivator, even when I wasn't. Yeah.
It kind of manifested it.
Yeah, people started
into existence, kind of thing.
Started asking, and then what happened? I'd always said to myself, if I had the opportunity to leave my job to just deliver talks, then great. But I'm going to give everything to my day job. Yeah. And I absolutely loved driving for this gentleman, and thought we built a relationship. He'd helped me grow, even more so than Martin Ireland and the army and my cadet leader had. And then it would have been 2 years ago, Emma Willis, who's the mother of Izzy. Yeah, shout out to Izzy.
Big up Izzy, and I made that introduction. I made this happen, Izzy. Come on, Izzy. And shout out Emma Willis,
Yeah, so she founded a charity called Style for Soldiers, and her aim was to but provide bespoke shirts and suits and shoes to soldiers who are transitioning out the army, so that when they're going for their job interviews or just in day-to-day life, we could feel proud. Presentation was a big thing in the army, and putting on an Emma Willis shirt, an Emma Willis tie, a Reese suit, and a pair of Russell and Bromley shoes, the swag, the swag, and again, people started picking up on that how you dress. They're like, and then she'd seen what I'd been doing, and I didn't even know she was watching, but she'd seen that I'd been working, and I'd been delivering the talks, and we collaborated I delivered some workshops to servicemen and women, just speaking about the tools that I'd use and use every day, still today, to sort of maintain balance in my life. And then she offered me the sponsorship to leave my job to focus on my speaking. Sick. And I was like, I wasn't sure if it was real or not. I just sort of pinched myself. I remember I spoke to Gemma, but I knew that I wasn't prepared to give up a day job that I loved for public speaking, because I thought public speaking it's every now and then. If I was a famous person who had been on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of It, or Big Brother, I could earn a good living from it, but not as I am. And so we spoke about what else we could do, and between us, I'd said that I'd always wanted to mentor in high schools in London. And she had said that she had sponsored a veteran previously to do that, and she would love for us to knowing my background, she almost knew I was the perfect fit, even if I was sort of wasn't sure. And so she said that she sponsored me for a couple of years, and that I was like, I remember thinking to myself, I really want to do this, but now I'm in a position where if I say no, for the rest of my life, I would think, what if?
Yeah, exactly. So opportunities that you can't say no to.
No, and Emma is she's got this energy where she just makes things happen, and so I took on the sponsorship, and then we went into COVID, so everything shut down. And I was like, I've just left my job. And so I was like, I wanted to reach out to Emma to say, what happens with the sponsorship now? Because I can't go into school because schools are shut. And she was like, look, we've committed to it. Let's roll with it. So I started working on what a mentoring program would look like. What I didn't want to do was create one and then take it into a school
And then
thinking it's going to work.
Yeah.
And so I sort of formed the basis of the program and then managed to get into school that September for a couple of months before another lockdown.
Yeah.
And started delivering it 3 days a week. And it's called the Endeavour Award. And essentially it's an 11-week program that's...
All of the links will be down here, by the way. We'll put all the links up to your TED Talks, to your website. All of that will be up. Anyway, see it.
That's focused on working with Year 9 students who are at risk from exclusion or getting caught up in being groomed for
like
gangs
county lines and gangs.
county lines. And so I started working with them, and I started to see that I was having an impact. But what I was doing was teaching them life skills.
Yeah.
Like how everything basically that I'd learned and had used multiple times in my life to make a success of myself. Things like I didn't know, like the importance of tying a tie knot properly, or the importance of polishing your shoes, and how you wear your uniform, and how to conduct yourself, how to become a social chameleon, so that even if you sag your trousers on the weekend, that if you get a job interview on Monday, you know how to switch it up so that you can walk in there and whoever's interviewing you can believe in you and know, do you know what?
I'm going to give him a shot.
Yeah.
So it's transferable skills.
Essentially, and so I've just finished taking the second cohort through. The first group, I take 5 students on it each 11-week program, and on Monday we'll do workshops. Wednesday I take them for swimming lessons, and on Friday we do sports. And outside of that, I'll shadow them in class, and I'll sit on their shoulder and sort of be that I guess that person that we didn't have at school that say, you're capable of so much more. Sit down and work. Let's go. Put your head down and work. Stop rocking on your chair.
Focus. Come on.
And I reward them with points, and on week 8, if they do everything they're taught and then asked to do, they get to go on a school trip.
Sick.
And then on week 11, if they've reached the benchmark of points needed, they secure the Endeavour Award. And so I went and had cool trophies made up, because I remember at school
used to get the dead ones,
the little plastic medals with the blue white ribbon.
The sports day ones, but they give it for like attendance and like best behaved or what.
And I only ever got one for taking part in cross country. I didn't even finish the cross country, but they gave me one.
Taking part,
and it was pointless. And so that was the first thing. So I had these little cool trophies that they could be proud of, that they could put in their bedroom and say, do you know what? I achieved that. And then a care package of Emma Willis gave a tie for their first job interview. Me and Gemma buy them deodorant.
Hello, Emma.
That's Izzy's the person to speak to there. So me and Gemma then buy them sort of Lynx shower gel sets and toothbrush, toothpaste, things that we take for granted, but actually
sometimes some people need that, man.
When we're young, and especially when you're I don't know about you guys, but low income, where money's tight, sometimes there isn't toothpaste, and your toothbrush.
Bro, I remember putting water in toothpaste, bro. Like, cutting the toothpaste up and scraping it. Come on, bro.
Scraping it out.
Like, we know them things.
And not, like getting in your mum's bath water and.
Sharing bath, everyone will go wash the bath in the same bath.
Bro, have you ever had to boil the kettle to have a bath?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
You're washing the bucket.
You got your one bucket. You're gonna dilute that hot water so it's warm enough. But that's you. You got to manage that
pattern, blood.
Quick, because the kettle's boiling again for the next one.
And so we did like the basics that think, D.R. Harris, shout out to D.R. Harris and St. James's. They're perfumers, and they put together these bags of aftershave, shaving cream, shaving cream for their first job interviews. They start going beards, deodorants. Me and Gemma go and get them like Sports Direct or JD vouchers.
Nice.
Just put together a care package that's something they can dream of.
We've achieved something here.
And then of the 5 that started on the first program, 3 of them were successful.
Okay.
And we went and delivered the care packages home, met their parents, and to see the changes in the students. Like, I can't help everyone.
No.
We can't help
Yeah, we
everyone,
can't,
and
It's not.
It gets.
I'm
like
not
that.
suggesting that I can do that, but if I can help them get through school without being
kicked out
or excluded, or if I can help them just reach, because a lot of these students are they're functioning at 30% of their true capacity.
Yeah.
Just like I was.
Yeah.
Like I could have been a straight A student, but I think I got one GCSE because I never done any coursework. I never revised. I never done homework. I just rocked up to my GCSEs and had a go.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, so what sort of where's the school? You go back into your original era.
So what I want to do is Brent, but I started working at St Ignatius College in Enfield because I delivered a talk there and I'd already built a relationship with the head teacher who had
Big up the school, man. Big up
yeah,
the teacher.
they welcomed me and they said they'd give me free reign.
Oh, excellent.
If you need anything, let us know.
Yeah.
And so mine and Emma Willis's aim is to, now we've got the program, it's built, it's up and running.
Yeah.
Once it's formalised, the aim is to bring on another injured serviceman or woman.
Yeah.
Well, in an all-boys school, it will be a serviceman who I will coach to deliver the program, and I'll
you
move
can
on to
replicate
another
that.
school.
Yes. Yeah.
And then what I want to do is come back to Brent and go into Wembley High or John Kelly or St Greg's to deliver it for a couple of terms. Once it's established and it's running smoothly, bring in another serviceman to take over. And what we want to try and do is just have a small team, maybe 3 or 4 of us, working in schools in London, schools that need it, not schools that aren't struggling with attendance and behaviour and things like that. Schools that because teachers, I never realised how hard teachers have to work. Like,
I can't lie, we give teachers hell. Me necessarily, I wasn't that bad, but I mean, like, my year group, we were awful in general. Like, we were nuts. We do things like run in someone else's classroom and do crazy, like teachers. You know what? We had a head of year that didn't give up on us.
Yeah.
He actually did not give up on us, even though I would have been like, forget these kids.
Yeah.
But he was on to us.
He was on point, man.
He knew the little tricks and he could catch us out, and I think that was needed for us. Otherwise, I don't think I would have finished school. I got kicked out in the last year, but they let me do my exams. But if it weren't for him, I think I would have been kicked out in that year 9 or year 8.
I said this was the one thing that I wanted to make sure I was able to give was time. I know the thing that makes what me and Emma are doing unique is that I'm in school 3 full days a week, working with a set group of students, but then sort of a multi-tool when the school needs me to help out with other students. And the mentoring, it's alarming to see that mentoring programs in schools currently, they'll go into school 1 hour a week and work and sit down with 1 day a week.
What impact can you have?
And sit down with 4 or 5 students for like half an hour at a time. And I just, I didn't have mentoring at school, but
we had a mentor in our school. And he didn't do. He hardly did anything. Like he hardly did.
Yeah,
How can you mentor a whole year group?
Yeah.
It's impossible, and have an impact that's significant.
And this, I guess, this is what we want to achieve. Is we want not to say a significant impact because we're working with small groups, small numbers of students, but to have as big an impact with that group as possible.
Exactly,
and they need, those students need time, and teachers are so under the cosh. It could be presumed that they give up on students when in fact actually nowadays they've got so much going on that it's impossible for them to dedicate time to one student in a class of 30, especially when you've got a third of that class who are
just not having it.
And so that's where I'm at currently, and the aim is to keep working. I'm starting to get Simeon involved because I'm also aware as a white man working in schools where they're predominantly black young men, that it's important that they're able to see positive role models that they can actually relate to.
Of course, you're right.
And so Simeon has been doing incredible things that I could only dream of achieving.
You gonna come on?
I don't mind.
All right.
We need to get him
That's a
on.
yes
We
for me.
definitely need
That's
to get
a
him
yes
on.
for me, brother.
And then hopefully you guys, like, I'd love
Yeah.
to bring you in because and have a chat to the kids,
Well,
and
on
because the more
Definitely, man.
the more success and the more people they can see that believe in them,
Yes.
hopefully there's standard chance that maybe we didn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
'Cause
mean?
I like to I've got a saying that there's no such thing as a lost cause.
That's it.
There isn't a lost cause. Like in school, they'll be like, "Ah, he's a lost cause," or college lost. There's no such thing as a lost
There
cause
isn't,
because
no.
that lost cause, he's gonna find out what he does well and what he's good at, and that's gonna make him successful in his future life.
And that's the thing is it's looking at why is this child misbehaving so much?
Yeah.
What is it that's contributing to
Exactly.
because there's so this especially what I'm seeing is, I guess, like me, like Simeon, like you guys, you could say we're from the rough,
Yeah.
but with the diamonds in the rough. And
Yes.
actually the urban community, but council estates, low income and underprivileged families,
Yeah.
they have so much talent there.
Up
It like
literally,
it's mad.
It's ridiculous,
The
isn't it?
talent pool's crazy because you know, like a kid that could fix bikes. You know, there's always one kid on the block that knows how to fix bikes. He could be like the future mechanic, aero engineer, something. You don't know. It starts small,
Starts small, yeah, bro.
but that talent sometimes it's like brushed aside or it's not. no
Because
one
you're not
taps
good
into
at
that.
maths,
Yeah.
or you can't sit
Yeah.
still
But
in
maybe his
English.
skill is something else. But school doesn't allow. I wouldn't say school, but I mean, there's something that someone needs to like give these kids that time, that little bit of attention, that
Got
little bit of
patience,
care,
innit?
that little bit of mentoring. You know, that support. That you've got something here, but pay attention in this. Because
Yeah.
that can help you get there.
Yeah.
You
And
know-
I guess
do you know
that's
what I mean?
what I try to do is
Mm.
if they can perform, if they can outgrow themselves each day, even by the smallest amount, I'll take you out of class and we can do something you want to do.
Yeah.
Like one of the students I'm working with, I was about to say his name, I shouldn't do
Yeah,
that,
good, man,
but
good.
he, I was in art with him, and I was like, what's the problem in art? And he was like, I hate art because I'm not an artist. And I'm like, I showed him some art that I had done, and I'm not an artist, but just some creative.
Yeah.
And I said, would you consider me an artist? And he said, well, yeah. And I said, would you like to be able to create a piece like that? And he said, yeah, but there's no way I could do that. And so the next day, I brought in the bits, I brought in the canvas, I went to Hobbycraft,
Okay. Sick.
brought the crayons, brought the
Yeah,
glue,
yeah.
sat down with him and said, we're going to recreate this and it's going to be yours. What do you want to do with it? And it really touched my heart when he said, I'd like to give it to my mum for her birthday.
That's sick, man. That's
Yeah.
cold, man. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
And we'd done the piece of art and all the teachers in the school were like, where's this come from? And I'm like, the student done it? No way. And I'm like, yes way. And then to go and deliver that home to him, and I showed up at the house and he was like, he didn't expect me to do that.
Yeah.
He didn't think I was going to come through.
Yeah.
And a lot of these children, they just need someone, like you say, that they can count on,
Yeah.
that says, I'm going to do this, and they come
deliver.
through.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of the time it's false promises. Oh yeah, you're gonna get them trainers maybe next week. I'll get it for you next month.
And that
What
is
comes with
normal,
them trainers,
right?
yeah.
Growing up
Yeah.
Yeah.
is
Man, that's
you're going to
what it
do
is.
this and it doesn't happen, or
Yeah.
you go out and like stabbing, shootings. It's normal. It's like
And you're
we're
desensitized.
desensitized to
Yeah.
it,
Literally.
Yeah.
and so not achieving much becomes normal to us.
And that's what I want to commend you for, because you're using your lived experience, your way of navigating life, and you're giving back. You know, a lot of people would have just, like you said, like at one point you were self-centered. Some people would have run with that and said it's just about me. But you giving back and saying, you know what, I'm gonna do good just for goodness sake.
Well, definitely,
You know,
I'll definitely commend you for
gotta
that.
commend you
Yeah,
for
man.
that.
No, look, like Emma Willis, this wouldn't be possible without her,
Big
and
up Emma Willis, man.
and she, I guess, in the background and in the shadows of it all, but like.
She saw something in you. Innit?
If well, it's not even that, because I'd see something in myself, and when I saw something in myself and I committed to how can I be better every single day, people around me started to see that.
Yeah,
and I didn't, it wasn't like I didn't plan to be a public speaker, to start my own mentoring program. None of that. I didn't. If you'd have said 4 years ago, I would have been like, no, you're kidding me.
If we said this to you at 16, 17, what would you have said? like, yeah, you're gonna have this. You're gonna be a mentor. You're gonna create this whole new program. You're gonna be working.
I probably would have thought that'd be nice, but would I believe that was
capable.
like every single person watching this, wherever you are in life, whatever you're doing or not doing, or whether you're in trouble or you're not in trouble, you will never see and believe what you're truly capable of until you decide to stand up and say, well, what did I do yesterday, and what can I change today that's going to make me just 1% better. Like if you can grow 1% a day, that's easy, right?
Yeah.
At the end of a year, you'll be 365% better than you were at the start.
And you know what? On that note, we're going to end it here. Thank you, David, for coming.
David,
A pleasure. Thank you.
That was amazing.
I'm gonna take some of them tips now. I'm gonna start doing a journal for
Watch
Ross.
the TED Talks. All the links are down here. All the socials, all the links, the website, it's all here or on this whatever side it comes on. Yeah, big up the editor. She does it like it's probably been going through the whole episode.
Yeah, no, reach out, get involved. If I can come in and deliver talks anywhere, get in touch with me.
Hit 'em up,
And
yes, well, we're actually launching a program with 8 kids in January. So we'd love for you to come and deliver a session.
Of course,
at some point.
100.
Yeah.
I'll come and deliver all of my sessions.
Oh, sick. Sick. No, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so
We're
much.
now on Spotify as well.
Check us out.
Check us out. Boom. We're out. Xconversations. David O'Mahony.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.